On April 24, 2026, Google committed up to $40 billion to the AI startup Anthropic. This was a single massive move in a broader wave of capital spending that is currently sweeping through the American tech industry. The strategy in Silicon Valley is built on a specific requirement. To reach the frontier of AI, a company needs a massive supply of capital and infinite high-end hardware. But on that same day, a Chinese open-source lab called DeepSeek released its new flagship model, V4. This model arrived with 1.6 trillion parameters and a million token context window. While US labs were investing billions to stay ahead, DeepSeek delivered a model that performs only 3 to 6 months behind the American cutting edge. This strategy targets the financial assumptions of the American model. DeepSeek is not attempting to surpass US labs in raw intelligence, but rather to disrupt the economic logic of the infrastructure they've built. For every million output tokens, Claude Opus 4.6 costs $25, while ChatGPT 5.4 costs $15. DeepSeek V4 Pro delivers similar performance for just $3.48. Its flash variant is even cheaper, at 28 cents. These two labs operate in different worlds. US companies have unrestricted access to global markets and capital, while DeepSeek is a sanctioned startup operating in a hardware-starved environment. This leads to a central mystery. How did a company under international sanctions build near state-of-the-art AI for a fraction of the cost? This pricing model challenges the high-margin business models that American labs rely on. If intelligence becomes a low-cost commodity, the massive investments in US infrastructure become much more difficult to justify. There is a common claim in US politics that Chinese AI progress is based on stealing or imitating American models. In reality, the progress is driven by necessity. The United States has blocked the export of advanced Nvidia chips, creating a physical limit on the compute power available to Chinese labs. Because they could not rely on hardware brute force, DeepSeek prioritized algorithmic efficiency, turning those constraints into a competitive advantage. This is the architecture for DeepSeek V4 Pro, a massive network containing 1.6 trillion parameters. Using a system called sparse attention, only 49 billion parameters actually activate during a task. The rest of the network stays dark, saving enormous amounts of energy and compute. By operating without infinite hardware, Chinese labs have developed one of the most hyper-efficient AI architectures in existence. This independence goes beyond software. DeepSeek is also moving away from its reliance on American silicon. DeepSeek V4 was optimized specifically to run on Huawei's domestic Ascend 950 PR chips. This suggests that China is building a parallel hardware ecosystem, ensuring their AI models remain resilient against further international sanctions. The impact of this shift is macroeconomic. An open-source market now exists that undercuts Silicon Valley's pricing by roughly 80%. American labs are facing a difficult financial reality. They must maintain high API prices to pay off the multi-billion-dollar debts they took on to build their infrastructure. As a result, DeepSeek is becoming a low-cost foundation for developers worldwide, particularly in growing tech hubs like India. In the past, international startups paid a significant price to access models from Google or OpenAI. Now they can build natively on powerful open-source models without those costs. This access allows developers outside of Silicon Valley to build advanced applications without being gatekept by the high costs of American infrastructure. The United States still maintains the lead in absolute performance, holding a slight intelligence advantage over its rivals. But DeepSeek has shown that the long-term success of the AI revolution may not belong to the lab with the smartest model, but to the one that makes intelligence affordable enough for the rest of the world to actually use.